Welcome everyone to our today's episode. We will be continuing with exponents and surds. Alright, let us continue with exponents and surds. And remember guys, this is for revision purposes. Alright, we are done now with surds. We are going in depth to exponents. Alright, let's look at exponents quickly. By definition, right, an exponent tells us how many times do we have to multiply a number with, or a base with, right? So an exponent, let me just say, tells us, okay, I think that would just make sense. Not that this is going to be asked you, but this is just good to recall that an exponent, this tells us how many times we need to multiply, how many times to multiply the base. Okay, can be the base or it can be the number, but we'll just refer to as the base, and then we'll quickly show you what do we mean by base. Alright, so here what we see here, it would be c to the power n, or c to the exponent n. Alright, that's how we read this. We'll go in depth as to how that is read on this other side. So with c to the power n, guys, c to the power n, our c here would then be our base. This is our base, B-A-C-E. B-A-S-E, sorry. The base that we referred to when we defined what is an exponent. Alright, and then the n that we see there, then that would be our exponent. Okay, it tells us how many times we're going to multiply the base. That's what it does. And then the whole thing, alright, the whole term that we see here, we refer to it as a power. Alright, so we have a power, we have the exponent, and then we have the base. So for us to have a power, we need the exponent and the base. Okay, for instance, let's look at the following. C to the power 2. When given c to the power 2, already one can see that 2 is our exponent. The c is the base. And then c to the power 2 would then be c multiplied by c. How do we know that it's c multiplied by c? Because of the 2, which is an exponent there. It tells us how many times we're going to multiply the base, which is 2 times in this case. Alright, and then let's break this down quickly. C to the power 3, c multiplied by c multiplied by c. C to the power 3. C to the power n now. Alright, c to the power n would be the defining example that I'm trying to show you. Alright, c to the power n then would be c to the power, or c multiplied by c multiplied by c, and so on, right? And so on, right? How many times? N times. Let me just say until n times, right? N tells us how many times you're going to multiply c. How many times? C multiplied by c multiplied by c multiplied by c, and so on until n times. Okay, hence we say this is c to the power n. Alright, now let's move on to how do we read then this, Mr. Ndlela? This is how we read it. 3 to the power 4, okay? This is how it reads as 3 to the power 4. Okay, let me write it here in words. 3 to the power 3 to the power of 4. Okay, 3 to the power of 4. That's how we read it. Or we can also read it as 3 to the exponent 4. 3 to the exponent 4. 3 to the exponent 3 to the exponent 4. Okay, either way, right, there's no wrong between the two. Let us now then break this down. 3 to the power 4 would then be, let's simplify it quickly. It's going to be 3 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 3 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then the answer here would be 3 multiplied by 3 would be 9 multiplied by 3, 27 multiplied by 3, getting 81. That would be our final answer here. And then 3 to the power 4 reads as 3 to the exponent of 4. Okay, and then same thing here. 3 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 3, and then this would then give us 81 because it's the same sign. All right. Hope this makes sense. Okay, let us then continue to rules of exponents. Let us go in depth to the rules of exponents.